Jesus. It's killing me to talk about this movie. Remember all the stuff that I said in the intro video about you coming in and we're going to find you a good movie that you like and that I like and I'm going to recommend it to you? Well, opposite of that. Today we're going to be discussing The Lovely Bones and why I feel like you should not watch it. Ready? Let's begin. The Lovely Bones, directed by Peter Jackson. Yes, that Peter Jackson has selected a star-studded cast. We're talking about Stanley Tucci, Saoirse Ronan, Susie Salmon herself. The mom, we ain't gonna talk about her. We ain't gonna even get on that because I don't even, look. And the dad is Mark Wahlberg himself. Yes, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. So picture this. The setting is 1973. We're in Pennsylvania, and we start with Susie Salmon. It's one of the first voices that you hear when you cut on this film is Susie narrating what exactly is going to happen in The Lovely Bones. She's a 14-year-old girl, and what 14-year-old isn't in school, has them a little crush, has them a little hobby, and things of that nature, right? Well, we find out that Susie Salmon has a crush on this guy named Ray, and I don't blame her. He's big on poetry, things of that nature. And as a man that loves literary devices myself, I can understand where her admiration comes from. But here's the kicker: she does not know how to talk to this young man simply because she's 14. She's awkward. I remember when I was 14 years old, I wasn't no female. I got titties now, but hey, that's besides the point. Right off the bat, we're introduced to one of the characters that I think is unintentionally funny. You see, Susie Salmon ends up going to the mall with her family, and she's checking out her little crush Ray walk by, right? And Gigi's in the back, like Gigi is grandmother. She's in the back, like, you like him, don't you? When you gonna talk to him? Have you ever kissed a man? Let me tell you, sweetheart. Granny was getting her mac on with an older man when she was around your age. You need to get with the program. Susie Salmon is not the only child. She has two younger siblings I neglected to mention. All right, so we skip ahead a little bit. And after the incident with her saving her brother, we have a scene where Susie Salmon actually goes to school and she comes across her crush Ray. And before they embrace each other, a teacher comes out the room blocking, hating, talking about art, yelling at another student. Bro, he just on some weird stuff. So he like, y'all better get to class. Scram! Get out of here. And they was like, you know what? Ray said, how about Saturday? What if we meet up at the mall? Nah. Susie's like, meet up where? And he tells her at a gazebo. They plan it out. But here's the kicker. Susie Salmon never makes that date. So here's the scenario. Susie Salmon is walking home. She decides to cut through the cornfield, which is actually some type of shortcut for her to get home, right? Buddy's been watching her for quite a bit of time, and he walks up to her after she loses a piece of paper, which I'm guessing was a poem that Ray must have written or something that she was trying to give him. The paper blows. He picks it up and he's like, oh, I hope it's not your homework. Hey, here you go. I remember you. You're that salmon girl. She was like, hey, I know you. You stay down the street. And he's like, yeah. Uh, hey, I have a question for you. Do you mind coming back with me? I built like this little game room for the kids. I just want to get your opinion on it. And Susie looks hesitant. You can feel the tension building up a little bit. She's like, I got to get home. And he's like, oh, okay. Man, it really would be a shame if I invite somebody else and they see it before you because it's a really good thing. Something is off about this man. He's taking off his coat. He's like, hey, you don't want to take off your coat? Go ahead, sit down. Do you want a drink? Oh, I did this, I did that. I think you will like this. No adults gonna be allowed in here. Susie Salmon knows that something's going to happen and she has to make a move. She tries to get up, but he's like, don't be rude. You don't do that. If someone offers you a drink, you need to sit there and accept that. And she sits down, she accepts it, and then she tries to take off again. Now, she kicks Buddy in the face, she gets away, she runs down the street. Susie Salmon walks inside of a house, but it's not her house. It's the house of the killer. He's inside this tub, soaking in this murky, dirty, dusty, dank water. I'm talking about it's darker than pho broth. This man is just frothing and frolicking in dirty bathwater, booty juice everywhere, man. And he's content with that. But it's heartbreaking because Susie looks at the sink and she sees her charm bracelet. She sees the blood on the floor and she knows I'm no longer here. Another part that transpires that is so gut wrenching is the realization of the family. The detective, played by Christopher Moltisanti, which is crazy. They got a good fella and a made man to play a detective. Talk about a rat, a full 180. The detective is telling them, hey, look, not only did we find the hat, we found some blood too. And judging from the amount, there's absolutely no way that Susie's here. I'm sorry for your loss. And Mark Wahlberg is just, his heart drops. I feel for him as a father. I'm gonna keep saying that. I feel for him as a father. Mom, on the other hand, now she starts bawling because the last thing you did was be nasty to her. I'm pretty sure that's eating you up on the inside. But no, you know what this heifer did? Do you know what this wench did? Mark Wahlberg's like, baby, we gotta find her body. We gotta bring her home. I'm gonna figure out a way how to do it. She's like, how you gonna fix it? Woman, what are you doing to help the situation, huh? What are you doing? She decides, I'm gonna put my bags in a taxi and I'm going to take off. She goes to California. Susie Salmon begins to narrate this part a little bit. She says her mom moved from Pennsylvania to California to work in an orchard. At one point in this movie, I felt tears coming in the back of my eye, right? And I started to cry, and I can feel that feeling right now. I started to cry, and I was like, man, maybe my hatred for this movie is not well founded. But then I remembered the tears that were in the back of my eyes because I was sitting there putting myself through another runtime of it. I'm gonna put a little bit more dip on your chip. The daughter had broke into the house, right? He heard the floorboard drop. He takes off upstairs. I'm talking about he's almost to her. She climbs out the window, rolls off the roof, hits the ground. I'm talking about Michael Myers. Knocked the wind out of her lungs. She on the shit, I shouldn't have did that. Right when he's about to grab her, she takes off. I'm talking about she jumps the fence. He tries to go, too old. His hip came out of place. He sat there with them tight ass corduroy pants, them tight ass khakis. Went back in the house, put him together a go bag, and dipped. And guess what? He had Susie's body in the house the entire time. Here's the icing on the cake, brother. When we go to the end of the movie and he's about to pick him up another girl, right? He's constantly pushing an issue with this girl until she's like, piss off, dude. What is your problem? Move. And he's like, okay. So he's standing under the tree. The icicles are melting. It drops down. Like the icicle lights up, right? It hits him on his shoulder. He's like, and he falls off. He trips off the cliff and just go ragdolling. And it's like, oh, what? But that is the end of my rant when it comes to anything concerning the Lovely Bones. If you enjoyed it, like, share, comment, tell me how I can improve it. I've reshot this video so many times. Big Daddy's tired. Uncle TK will see you later in the next video. So I don't know how to close out. This motherfucker got one more time to cut off in the middle of my video, and I'm gonna treat you like the Pixar lamp treat that eye in the beginning of the intro. Keep playing with me. Oh.